Hey guys, welcome again to the complete HTML and CSS course. HTML and CSS are two languages we use to create website. We use three main languages to create website: HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. HTML is the building block of the website. So every website you see online, HTML to create those websites. And CSS is used to style the website. It's used to make the website very beautiful. Then JavaScript will give the website interactiveness. Okay, so that when you click a button, something will happen. When you click something, something will happen. The JavaScript can also be used as a back-end programming language. I believe this is too much for now. So today we are going to go straight and learn everything we need to know to get started with HTML. Alright, so everything we need to know to get started with HTML. Let's go and get started. Alright, so on my desktop here, I'm going to create a folder. If you don't know how the softwares we use to get started, I've made a video on that. Okay, so we are using Visual Studio Code and Google Chrome. I believe you have Google Chrome already. So go ahead and go and download the Visual Studio Code so that we all go and start together. So I'm going to create a folder right here and name it HTML lesson. I hit enter. Now I'll go and open my Visual Studio right here. When I open my Visual Studio, I'm going to open the folder I created. So let me use the shortcut key to open the folder. Is Control K, Control O. So it will open, and I'm going to look for HTML lessons. When I select it, I click on select folder. Right here, our folder has been opened, and now we want to create a new HTML file. So to create HTML file, you can click here, new file, and click on new file. You need to give the file a name. So I'm going to give it lesson 1, lesson dash 1. You don't need to leave a space. After you type the name, then you bring dot, then you type HTML, then you hit enter. Make sure you bring the HTML, because the HTML is what tells the computer that this file is an HTML file. All right, so let's go straight to create our file. Okay, so this is the logo of HTML. Okay, this is the logo right here. Okay, now we are going to review the HTML. Now when you say HTML, I told you is hypertext markup language. That's the language we use to create professional websites. All right, so HTML uses what we call element. So everything you see on the website is element. So we are going to create our first HTML element. So to create the element, you are going to type this. All right, so this is an HTML element. I'm going to type click me. All right, so we have elements called button. Sorry, I didn't type it well. Button is supposed to be button. All right, so we have button here, two button, and click me inside. Now we are going to review the syntax rule for HTML. Now to create an element, we use what we call tags. So we have two tags here. This one is a tag 1 and tag 2. Now there is a slight difference between the tag 1 and the tag 2. The tag 2, the difference is that it has a backward slash. Okay, now this first tag is called opening tag. All right, and the last tag is called a closing tag. So HTML tags has opening tag and closing tag. Then your content goes inside. Now every tag has a name. Like this one you are seeing right here is called the button. So let me save this one. When I Control S, or you come to File and you look for Save File, Save then you save. Now I'm going to minimize my file right here, then open the HTML lesson 1. You can see the file we created right here. You double click on it to open. Right now you can see this element on the page. You are seeing a button. Congratulations, you just first create your HTML element. Okay, first website with one element inside. So we are going to go deeper into it, and we are going to analyze all the elements we need in an HTML. You can see that when you go to a website, you can see buttons, you can see images, you can see text, you can see videos and other things. So we are going to go through all the elements and how to create them. All right, so stay tuned. Now let me go back to my Visual Studio, right, and I'm going to create another element. I'm going to type backward slash then p, then close it. So you can see that when I type, the editor, the text editor auto complete it for me. The editor will complete it for you. That's why we are using Visual Studio Code. Now let me type, this is a paragraph of text, and I'm going to save it. Now I'll go to my page, which is lesson1.html. You can see that nothing is happening right here, but when you refresh the page, you are going to see this is a paragraph of text. All right, so this is another element in HTML. We call it the paragraph element, and you can see that it is p, it is not paragraph. It didn't write paragraph, it just wrote p. So the paragraph element is only p. Now there is more things I need to let you know. Now in HTML and CSS, HTML, when you leave multiple spaces like this, these multiple spaces are not counted. Okay, they all combine as one. So when I save the file and go to my web browser and refresh the page, you can see that nothing happened because multiple spaces are just seen as one space in HTML. There is another thing I should let you know. Okay, let me remove it. Now in HTML2, when you leave multiple lines like this, these multiple lines are also combined as one space. So when I save and go to my website and I refresh, you can see that still nothing happened there. Okay, so you can see it is a bit weird. So you'll be like, how can I leave space and the rest? This is very good because it gives us a lot of easiness when we are trying to arrange our element. Therefore, this is how we arrange our element in HTML. So here I can click enter here and stand here and click enter, so that the tags will be on their own line and our text will also be on its own line. So we are going to do the same thing for the paragraph too. All right, so you can see that this one is a way better, is a better way of reading. It provides an easier way of reading. When I save, okay, then I come, you can see that still nothing is happening. Congratulations. All right, so right now let's jump deeper into HTML. We are going to learn something that is very important, so stay tuned. Let's continue. So I'm going to open my Visual Studio. I'm going to delete everything right here. Now we're going to learn the proper structure of HTML. HTML has a proper structure and it's a combination of different tags. So as we are learning, I'm teaching you. All right, so the first structure, the first tag you need to write is this tag right here. Then you write doc type right here. Then you close it. So this doc type is very important. You can add HTML to it. Doc type HTML. Now this doc type is very important. Okay, it tells the computer that we are using the current version of HTML. We have older versions of HTML and now they are no more in use. The newer version of HTML give us more things. Okay, so we are telling the browser that you are using the newer version of HTML. Now this HTML tag does not require a closing tag. You don't need a closing tag for it. So we come to the next line. We are going to write this HTML. Let me use small letters. HTML. Okay, so HTML, then it's auto-complete form. Now HTML is the first tag you need. It's like the anchor, it's like the embodiment of everything in the website. It contains everything. So you need HTML. Okay, in the HTML you need two things. You need head like this, okay, and you need the body. Okay, so you need these two things right here. You need the head and you need the body. So the head is like everything on our, let me open the browser. The head is like everything here. Okay, okay, the head is going to be everything here, right? There are things that you will not see on the web page, while the body contains everything that we are going to see on the page, like the text, images, the videos you see on the web page. Now this is very important because it gives you extra advantages, and I'm going to tell you one of it. Now when you use this structure, you can add few things like the title of your website. So we are going to add a title, and we add the title to the head. Okay, so we can write a tag and write title. Okay, title, to close it, like title like this, and I can say I am learning HTML. Then I save. When I save and I refresh the page, you can see the title changes. Okay, it changes from the name of the file to the title of the file. So I'm learning HTML. All right, so this is the first structure. Now everything we are going to do is going to come to the body section of our website. We are going to look at the body section and do everything right there. All right, so stay tuned. Now let's write our paragraph text. Then I hope you remember, you write it like this, paragraph like this. Then your text goes inside the paragraph. I'm going to write, this is a paragraph of text, and I save it. So I come to my web browser and I refresh it. You can see that this text is on the web page now. All right, congratulations. So this is the proper way or proper structure of HTML. All right, let's continue. I'm going to open my Visual Studio right here. All right, so we are coming to learn something that we don't normally use in HTML, but it's very important. So I'm going to write a lot of things here. Okay, let me add full stop. I am now learning HTML. Guys, this is the best platform to learn HTML. If you are interested in learning HTML, just follow me, subscribe to this channel, and comment I'm interested, so that when I post a video concerning HTML and CSS, JavaScript, you'll be the first person to be notified. Okay, you can see I'm in the church right now, but I want to make the video for you. I love you so much. All right, let's continue. Now we are going to look at how to format elements in HTML, something like bold, italic, underline, and the rest. Okay, we are going to learn it, so let's jump straight into it. Now the first one we want to learn is bold. So let's bold this learning HTML. To bold something in HTML, you are going to write this tag, then you write B, you close it right there. So this is the elements or the tags for the bold. So I'm going to move everything here. I'm going to cut Control X, then paste, Control V, then I'm going to save, Control S, and I'm coming here, then refresh my page. So you can see that the HTML now is bolding. Okay, it is bolding now. If you can see, let me let you see. So you can see that this one is bold right now. Okay, it's bold than all the rest. Okay, so this is how to bold a text. Now let's look at the next one, how to italize a text. So this is a paragraph. Let's italize this text. Okay, so to italize, you can guess it is just the tag I, like this, the closing and opening tag. Then I open, I cut, and I cut, sorry, I put everything right here. When I save, okay, save, and I refresh the page, you can see that this one too has italicized. Okay, let me increase the fonts so that you can see it. You can see that it's italicized. All right, now let's go and create the next one, which is strong. Now let's use this strong here. So strong, I will explain it to you. Don't worry. Strong, and I close it right here, and I put the text inside. I cut it. Let's paste it, save, and open it, then refresh. Now this text is strong. There is a difference between strong. There is a difference between strong and bold. Strong gives meaning to the website, okay, to the crawlers. When you are searching something, tells the website that this thing is strong and it improves SEO. Okay, maybe if you don't know anything about SEO, don't worry, let's stay tuned. So there is more into strong than bold. It didn't just bold in the text like this one, okay, but it gives more meaning to the website. Okay, all right. Now let's look at another one. Here I'm going to write EM like this. Then I move everything, I cut everything, I put it right here, I save it. When I save it, I refresh the page. Okay, so this EM I am now is emphasized. It didn't only italize the text. No, is emphasis. Okay, it emphasized on the text. It gives more meaning to the browser. Okay, it improves your SEO, the search engine optimization. When you search something and there is the person added something like this in the search results, your website will pop up. Okay, we are not going into SEO right now. I don't want to confuse you. Right, so these are some of the ways to format our element in HTML. Congratulations, I believe you have learned a lot of things right now. Now before we continue, I want us to do something. You see that whenever we create the website, we save and we go and refresh the page. It's not nice at all. So we are going to install something called live server. Live server will refresh our page for us. Whenever you are typing, you don't need to go and refresh your page. Okay, the live server will just refresh your page for you. So let's do that. So you come to this right here. You come to here, extensions right here. Come to extension, you are going to search live server. All right, so live server, we are going to click on the live server. Okay, you can see the number of downloads, 58 million. So we install it. It's installing. Okay, then good. So it has been installed, and that is that. So when you save something, you don't need to come and refresh the page again. Okay, so to open with live server, let's go back to our code here and open our code. You can close all these things right here. Now to open with live server, you are going to right click on the page and you come here, open with live server, or you can see the shortcut key right here, Alt L, Alt O. You click on it, then allow. You are going to allow for the first time. And you see it is opening on my default browser, which is this one. Okay, so you can see, let me increase the font right here. So you can see some numbers here and the name of the site. Okay, so this is live server. You don't need to come and refresh the page again. Thank you for following so far. All right, so now we are going to learn something that is very important. We are going to learn list, how to work with lists. So how to write list 1, 2, 3, and the rest, other lists and the rest. Now we have two main types of lists in HTML. We have ordered list and unordered list. Ordered list and unordered list. So let's come to our page right here. To create unordered list, let's start with the unordered list. You create the tag opening, closing. Inside it, you're going to write U for on, L for list. So unordered list. Okay, this, then you are going to close the tag by creating this one right here. So this is unordered list. Now in the unordered list, you are going to put inside it list. It's list that you are going to put inside. So we should know how to write the list first. So let's come here. This is how we write a list. Li, like this. Then we'll put, let's say, list of our food. So I'll write fufu. All right, and I can copy, Control C to copy. Then come down, Control V, Control V, Control V. I'll write rice. I'll write maybe soup. I like some soup. And I can write drinks. Let me write just anything, drinks. Then I'm going to save. So when I save and open the live server, you're going to see that this list is right here. Okay, I didn't need to refresh the page again. Now let's come to our browser. So this is how we write list. Now you put the list in the unordered list. So when I cut it, I'm going to open this unordered list. Then I put everything right here. Okay, and I'm going to save it again. You can see that uh, nothing really happens, but this is the correct way of doing it. So this is unordered list. Now let's learn how to write uh, ordered list. So ordered list, I guess you can tell me. So you come down here and write our closing and opening tag. Ordered list, this is how we write it. So ordered list, OL. We are going to copy this same thing. Copy, then paste it. Save. Let me come here. All right, so you can see the difference, that this one is 1, 2, 3 right here, while this one is unordered. Okay, and this one is ordered. So you are done working with lists right here. Okay, you see that we are just writing things, we are not styling it. The next video we are going to learn how to style our website, and in the third video we are going to create a full website. This is the project we are going to create. We are going to create this website. Sorry for these things. Let me show you the website you're going to create. Okay, so the next video I'm going to create this website right here. It's a very simple website I created for someone. So I created this week. That's why we want to create the same website, because I use less than some hours to create this website. It's not anything difficult. So we are going to create this website. Guys, if you're interested in this video, make sure you follow me and subscribe. Okay, now we are going to learn something that is very, very important. So let's come here, right here. Come, we are going to learn links, how to link something. So you can see that in the website there is a lot of link is just an anchor. When you click on it, it will take you to another page of the website, or another website, or another place at all. Anyway, I believe you know list. If you don't know list, comment you don't know list. I will explain it to you there. All right, so to write a list, we are not going to write li, but we are going to write a, like this. This A stands for anchor. So we are going to type in our list
our anchor. This is a link. Let's save and open our browser. Come down. This is a list. So you can see that this list is not do it's an anchor though, but it's not doing anything right now. Okay, when you uh, go to the website, it's not doing anything. Okay, because we have not given it an attribute. So we are come to learn HTML attributes. HTML attribute gives more meaning to elements. It gives more description and working explanation to the element. So this link right now is not going anywhere. When you click on this link, it's not going anywhere. So we are going to add what we call HTML attribute. So to add attribute, we add the attribute to the opening tag, and every HTML link has an attribute called href. Okay, this href. Then we type, let's see, google.com. So it means that, let's save, let's open. See, now it's a link. When you click on it, it will surely take you to Google. All right, I'm not connected to the internet, so I don't want to click on it. All right, so you let me click on it so that you see what I'm talking about. So you cannot get google.com. So assuming I'm connected to the internet, it will get google.com. All right, so let's continue. Okay, so this is a link. Now I'm going to let you know another attribute called auth. Okay, this auth. Okay, so the auth also gives you more meaning. Auth doesn't necessarily comes to the web page, but it tells you what the link is doing. So you can write a description. This is a link. This link to Google. When you save this, come here, nothing comes, but it's just a description to the link, and it's add a lot of SEO. All right, so this is how to create a link. So your work, just create a link to facebook.com, your Facebook. Okay, so you just write this anchor, closing and opening tag. Now you're going to give the opening tag an attribute, and the attribute is href equals to google.com. Now google.com is in quotation mark and href and bracket. I hope you can see it right here. All right, so that is it right here. Congratulations, you first created your link. Now we are going to look at something that is very important in website, how to add images to websites. So let's come down, and to add image, the image tag is closing, opening bracket, img, like this, then you close it. Now this image tag does not also require a closing tag. It's just like this, just like this. So that is that. Let's go to the website. You are going to see an image on the website. All right, I know we are not going to see anything on the website though. So nothing happens here. Okay, nothing happens here. So let's come to our Visual Studio. Now we are going to give this image also another attribute, which is called SRC. SRC stand for source. SRC stand for source equals to double quote. It's just like the href. Okay. Now this source is going to tell the web browser where our image is located. So before we continue, let's add image to our folder right here. So I'm going to open this folder and look for image. Let me look for this image right here. Put it, drag it into the folder. Okay, so the image is right here. Now we are going to look for that image. So the image is called WhatsApp. So you can type WhatsApp, and by the grace of Visual Studio, we are just seeing the name of the image. You can just click on it there and save. When we save, we come to our browser and we can see our image right here. It's very big, so we are not seeing it. Let me minimize it. All right, so we can see our image right here. You can see it. So this is how to add image to a web browser. All right, so congratulations. Let's look at the last attribute. So the attributes for image also has alt. Okay, so alt also provides just a meaning. So you can see when I was writing the alt, I didn't put it in this quotation mark. I left the quotation mark and I just left a space and wrote the alt. This alt is just a meaning to the browser. This is an image. When I save it, nothing comes. Nothing, you will not see anything. But if this browser refuses to load this image, that description will come, of course. All right, so congratulations so far. I believe you have learned a lot of things. Okay, now that this is the last thing we want to learn, then we'll continue. Okay, let's look at how to add a video. So video, you are just going to write this video like this. You close it right here. Video, you are going to also give it a source, src, right here. Then you tell it where your video is located. I don't have a video right here. It's a work for you. Try to put a video there. If you are able to put it, it's a congratulations. If you are not able, let me know in the comment section that you weren't able to add the video. I'm going to teach you how to do it in the comment section. Now let's look at the last thing that is very, very important. I'm going to throw more light on it on the next video. It's called semantic elements. Semantic elements. All right, so these semantic elements are not any element that appears on a browser or on the page. When we add any semantic element, it doesn't appear on the page. It just gives meaning to the browser. Okay, so I'm going to give you a few semantic elements. So we have one called header right here. So header, we put all our header section on the header. Header is the top part of our website where you see the logo, you see the nav bars and the rest. Okay, I just mentioned another one. We have a semantic element called nav. Nav just stands for navigation bar. So we can have our home, our something. Okay, these things doesn't necessarily do anything to the web page. It just gives meaning to the browser. Then we have another one called footer. Okay, and the last one I want to talk about is main. So these are the semantic elements. Congratulations, you just completed the course on all the HTML tags and elements. You are now a web developer. In the next video, we are going to look at how to style using CSS to style our web page. Then the third video, we are going to create our first website. Stay tuned.
But in this lesson, we are going to focus on CSS. So what is CSS? CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheet. It's a language we use to beautify websites. So when you go to any website on the internet, let's say Amazon, Google, any website you see on the internet, we use CSS to beautify these websites. Alright, so without wasting much time, let's jump straight into our video. Okay, so
I have my PC here. Okay, so let me delete this thing. In our HTML course, we learn how to create a paragraph of text by creating this P and write inside this P. We learned that this one is called tags, HTML tag. So this is a paragraph of text. Okay, we learned also how to create a button by typing a button. So this is a button. We also learned how to write uh, some semantic elements like header. Okay, we also look at nav. We also look at footer and the rest. So these are some of the things we look at in the HTML course. So if you have not watched the HTML, go and watch it. Today we want to focus on CSS. Right. So without wasting much time, let's jump to the CSS. I'll delete everything here. And before we start our CSS, I'm going to teach you something in HTML. So this generation, how to generate this thing, our code editor has it inside. So when you press Shift plus 1, you see this thing. You press a tab or enter, and this thing will come out. This is what we learned. We learned this in our HTML course. All right, but this one we didn't type it one by one. We call it boiler template. You don't need to type it. When you are using Visual Studio Code, you need to just press Shift and 1 and you will get it. So we change our title here, HTML and CSS course. Now, in the body, we are going to write some HTML code. So let's create button first, then right click me. So this is a button. We also learned how to open our HTML with live server. So I'll right click and go to open with live server. Then you can see it right here. Let me close all these tabs. Oh, so I didn't spell. So this is the button we just created. So it's HTML. All right, so when you save now, we don't need to refresh our page. When you open it, it will come automatically, HTML. So now, so far as we have created our button, we are going to style our button. We are going to style our button, make it a little bit beautiful using CSS. Now we have three types of CSS. We have three ways of writing CSS code. We have what we call inline, we have internal, and we have external. We'll look at all these three right here in the video. So let's go and look at the first one. We are dealing with internal. When you say internal, we write the CSS code on the HTML. Like here, the button, we are going to give it an attribute for the star sheet. Okay, so we type star. When you type star, inside the star, you see a double quote. Then we'll give it a background color. Then I will give it, let's say, red. Then I will save. When I save and open, you can see our background for the button to be red. Okay, so that is how the internal look like. But you can see that when we have a lot of code here, we are going to write in the HTML like this, and it's going to be difficult to read. So assuming I want to write another property like color, right, color, and say white, and I save. See, the color has turned to white. Okay, let me write another one, another CSS property with, and I'll give it to 200 pixels, and I save. All right, so you see we are writing and we are changing our HTML, but the way we are writing it, it will be very difficult to read. Okay, it's not very nice. So we will not use this strategy. This strategy is what we call inline CSS. In inline CSS, we write straight into our HTML element. That's what we do, but we will not do this. So I'll clear everything right here. Okay, and I will save it. Now let's go to the next one. The next one is called internal CSS, and we work with this a bit, but when we get to a place we'll switch to the external. So the internal CSS, we write the code in the head section of the HTML. So this is how we do it. We create an HTML element called star. Good. And when you create our HTML element here, okay, we are going to write all the CSS code in these star tags. I hope you understand. So without wasting my time, let's go straight into it. Now the first thing we need to learn is called HTML selectors. Sorry, CSS selectors. So we need to select whatever we want to style into our star tag. Assuming this button, we want to star this button. Okay, so to start this button, we are going to select the button. Now, how do we select the button? We are just going to write button here, right? When you write the button, it means we have selected the button. When you select the button, you are going to open curly brackets. This curly brackets right here. All right. So we have button and we have curly bracket, opening and closing curly bracket, and our star will go inside this button. So let's review the code we have written right in here. So we wrote button, which stands for this button. Okay, this one is called CSS selector. We have different ways of selecting HTML elements. Okay, the first way is to use the HTML element directly. So we use the button here, which shows that we have selected the button. So let's quickly write some code, like background color should be red. Then we are going to write color should be white. Then we'll write the width to be, let's say 200 pixels. I'll explain everything. So when I refresh, I save, and you can see that the same thing is happening here, what we created using the inline. But we can see that this one is more readable as compared to the internal, compared to the inline. So this way of writing CSS is called the internal. Let me separate it. All right, so let's review the code. Okay. We have the selector, which is the button, and CSS take two properties. The first property is the property we want to change, which is at the left side, and we'll bring a colon. After the colon, we'll bring how we want to change the property. So here we want to change the background color. We want to change the background color, and we want to change it to red. After we written the red, we need to bring this semicolon. Semicolon is just like a full stop, okay, which shows that we are done with the first line of code. Then we go to the next one. We want to change the color, and we change the color by white. Then we bring the semicolon. The next one, we want to change the width. The width is how wide, okay? We will look at all these things. Then the next one, we want to change the width by 200 pixels. Now you need to know that 200 pixels, you will not get it right, okay? You will need to work with CSS before you get the numbers right. Even up to now, some of us, we don't really get it right. You need to do some practicing before you get the exact number. So don't be worried if you are confused on how to measure the pixel. But pixel is just one dot on your computer screen. So we are using 200 pixels here. All right. So that is how to style HTML. All right. So let's learn a few things. Okay. So now we want to focus on the CSS selectors. So assuming I have another button here, let me create a button and say second button. Second button. All right, then I'll create another button and write third button, when I save and open, you can see that all these buttons has the same style. Okay, have the same style, but that is not what we want. We want all the elements to have different style. So this brings us to the next way of selecting HTML element in our CSS. So let's go to our code. When you go to our code, you can see that in the element we selected the button, and all these things are buttons. So far as we have selected the button, all these buttons is going to have the same style. So to solve this, we are going to learn one attribute in HTML. So we have every HTML element has an attribute called class attribute. Now, when I write the class, I'm going to give this class a name. I'm going to give this button a name that I can use to select it. So I'll give it first dash button. All right. So when I give it first dash button, I'm going to delete this. Okay, let me come here. Now to select a button, this is how we select a button. We use dot. When you bring a dot, it will tell the computer that you are going to select a class. So when you bring the dot, then you bring the class name, which is first dash button. Then we bring our open and closing brackets, curly brackets. So this is how we select a class. Now, whatever we write here is going to be for the class. So I'm going to write background color to be, let's say, blue. Then I'm going to give it color to be red. I'm going to give it width to be, let's say, 150 pixels. When I save, when I save. Sorry, I didn't write it well. So it should be button. So I save. When you don't spell it well, you are going to get some. So when I save, you can see that this has changed. Okay, and it has changed because we have selected it, only that one, first button, and we have styled it differently. All right, so this is how to select HTML element. Now the next way to select element is using what we call ID. So we can come to our second button and type ID, that's the attribute, and give it ID of second dash button. When you save it, we need to select this ID. Now to select ID, we use the pound or hash symbol, which is hash right here. Then we write the name for the ID, which is second dash button. Then the opening and closing curly brackets. So let's start this one separately. Background color should be, let's see, white. Then the color should be, let's say, black. Then the width should be 100 pixels. When I save and I open, we have seen this one is it has changed, all right? So the width is 100 pixels and the color is black. So this is how we select element using CSS. If you have not watched our complete HTML class, make sure you go and watch that video. I'll put it in the description below. So let's jump on to the next thing. All right, let's learn how to work with text. So I'm going to create a text right in our style sheet. So I'll create P and I'll write some random text right here. Random text. Lorem stands for random text. I'm going to write 200 so that it will be a lot. So I've written some random text right here. Now we are going to see this random text in our CSS. Okay, so we are going to learn some properties to star text. So let's select the paragraph tag in our CSS. To select the paragraph tag, I want to select P, then open. All right, so let's write few things. The first property we are going to learn is called font family. So when I wrote font, you can see that we have a lot of properties for font. We are going to deal with font family. What is font family? Font family is the font style, how the style will look like. So let me select any random font here. I will select this one. Okay. When I save, the font we are using is Georgia or Georgia. Then when Georgia fails, Time New Romans will load. When Time New Romans fail, Times will load. So let me delete all this one. Let's deal with only one for here. When I save, I go here. You can see that our font style has changed. Okay, let me change it again to, let's say, times. Okay, I change it to times. Then I save. See, it has changed. So this is how we select or we change our font style. The next thing is font size. Right? Font dash size. Sorry. Font dash size and colon. Then we are going to give it a font size to, let's say, 24 pixels. Save. So that it has become a little bit big. Okay, so that is the font size. When I change it to, let's say, 12 pixels, it will be a bit smaller. So this is how to work with font size. All right, so these are some of the things you need to learn with fonts. So let's go on. We are going to go to the next title, which is box size model, CSS box model. Let's go and work with box model. So to work with box model, I'm going to create another button. Okay, then I'll write box model. Save. All right, so I'm going to give this one a class and name the class to be box. When I save it, and I'm going to select this box in my style sheet, dot box. And I select it. All right. Now this box model, what is box model? The box model is everything about the box. So when you check this right now, you can see inside this box we have the red color. Then we have outside the box. Then we have some width in the box. The box has some black thing around it, some black border around it. So we're going to learn how to size all these things. All right. So let's look at how to work with the outside box. Now in CSS, to work with the outside box, we call it margin. So we have margin top. So I write margin top. Let me put 50 pixels and save. Then we open you can see that this box has shifted down. So the space between here and here is 50 pixels. All right. Now let's push this box to the right a bit. So what are we going to use? We are going to use margin left. Okay, that's the left side. We are going to also give it, let's say, 100 pixels. When I save, I open. So you can see that our box has shifted 50 pixels to the right. All right. So this left side, this size here is 50 pixels. So you remember that when we were learning HTML, I told you that extra spaces are not needed. So this is how you give space in HTML. All right, let's still go on. All right. So so we have margin top. We can also have margin bottom. Assuming there are things there, you can have margin bottom. sorry, margin dash bottom. Then we can write something there, but so far as there is nothing under this, you will not see it. Then we can have margin right. So the margin right, that one too, because there is nothing there, margin right, you will not see it. So 30 pixels. When I save, nothing will happen. You will not see anything. All right, nothing is happening right now. Okay, so CSS has a shortcut for this margin. We don't need to keep all these things in our mind. So we are just going to write margin. When you write margin, when I give it 50 pixels, you can see that nothing will happen right here. It will be the same thing, 50 pixels. Now this 50 pixels means that the top, the left, right, bottom, all is 50 pixels. Okay, now we can also give it different values. So when I leave space and I give it, let's say 30 pixels, I give it 30 pixels and 100 pixels. You can see a change. This one has shifted. So let me explain to you. The first 50 pixels stand for the top. The second stand for the right. The third stand for the bottom. And the last one stand for the left. So there is the shortcut. Okay. You can also give it only two properties. Assuming I want to give it these two properties, 50 and 30. Now this 50 stand for the vertical, so the top and the bottom, and this 100 stand for the left and the right. When I save, nothing will still happen. It will be the same thing. So this is the shortcut for a CSS model. Now let's look at the inside of the box. Assuming we want to give some space in the inside. Okay, so in the inside we give it a property called padding. Now padding take the same values like margin. So let me give it padding dash top, and I'm going to give it 35 pixels. When I save it, you can see that the box has 35 pixels at the top. Okay, I will do the same thing. Padding left, I'm going to give it 20 pixels. Then padding right, I'm going to give it 20 pixels. Then padding bottom should also be 35. When I save it, you can see this is our box right now. The top here is 35 pixels. Then this place, forgotten, let me check. The padding top is 25 pixels. The padding left is 20, padding right 20, and padding bottom is 20. We can give the same shortcut as padding 35 for the top and down. Then left and right should be 20 pixels. Nothing will change. It's going to be the same thing. All right, so this is CSS box model. Let's continue. We're going to look at the border. So you are seeing some black border here. Okay, so let's write this border takes a property called border. So we can have border we have border. Sorry, let me take it one after the other. We have border width. Okay, let me give it a border width of 10 pixels so that you see. When I save, you see that the width of the border has become big. Okay, so that's the border width. We can give it border. So we have border style. We have border style. We have different border style. Let's use the dotted. And I save it. See that the border has become dotted. All right. Now let's look at. We have border color dash color. Let's make it white. I save it. See, the border color has become white. All right, so let's change the border style to solid. Solid is the default one, so nothing is happening here. So I'm going to delete the border style right here. I want you to see something. Now we have another property called border radius. We normally use this border radius. Let me give it 20 pixels and save it. So that the border has become, let me change the border color. The border color to be black so that you see it well. Good. You see that there is a beveled edge. The edge has curved. So the more I increase, the more it curved. Let me change it to 13. Save. You see, it is curving. All right. So this is how to work with the border. Okay. Now this border tool, you can also write the shortcut. You just write border. Write border. I give it 10 pixels, solid gray. So this stands for the width, this stands for the border style, and the next one stands for the border color. When I save it, you're going to see, you're going to see this one, same thing, and I can add the border radius to be 30 pixels. All right, guys, I believe you have learned something. This is the complete HTML course. If you want to support us in any way, make sure you subscribe or follow us and give us a comment or a like, and we'll be very appreciating to that gesture. So let's still continue to learn our CSS. All right, so the next thing is that we are going to look at CSS properties. We are going to look at CSS layout property. Now, when you say layout property, I'm going to create a semantic element here. I'm going to create, let's say, let me use header for now. I create a header. I will not put anything in this header, okay? But I will select this header and give it, I'm going to select this header in the star and give it some properties. So I'm going to give it a width of 150 pixels. Okay, then we will look at another property called height. And I believe you know what height will do. I'll give it height of 100 pixels. All right. Then I'll give it background color of red. And I will save it. When I save it, all right, so we have this header box here. Let me increase the pixels. Just increase to 700 and 500 or 800. Sorry, 500. All right, so we are having our border here, our box, which is the nav here. Okay, and here I'm going to create another box here. Where is it? I'm going to create another one and I'll name it nav. All right, I'll also select my nav. Select it, and I'm going to give it the same property here. Paste, but I'm going to reduce this one to 70, 50, then white. Then I see it yellow, and I save it. Good. You are seeing some small box here. Now, before we continue, we are learning CSS layout. We need to learn some behavior of CSS elements. Now, you can see that this box, this red box right here, is a semantic element, and all semantic elements behave in a way. You can see that. Let's go to the top. These buttons are close to themselves. Okay, they are right beside themselves. But when you look at this box, the box, it wasn't here. The box is different. Okay, so we have element in CSS. We have different kind of element in CSS. The first element we have is called block element. Now block elements will take all they will take the complete line where they are. They will not allow any element to be by themselves. And all semantic elements are block elements. So this one is block, is taking the complete line. Let's look at the paragraph. The paragraph is also a block line. Okay, even if the paragraph is short, let's reduce the paragraph to, let's see, this, to some these words. You can see that still the paragraph is taking the complete line. It's not allowing this box, it's not being allowed for the box to be by the side. Okay, you understand? So paragraph take the complete box. When I remove the paragraph from this place, you can see that, you will see that this box model will come here. Okay, let me delete this paragraph text right here, and I save. When I save, you see that the button has come to the side of these buttons. So these buttons, we call them inline element. Inline element allow you to allow the element to be by themselves, their sides, close by their side. So you can see that by the right and by the side, these elements are allowed to be there. But block elements will not allow any element to be by the side. An example of block elements are semantic elements and paragraph. Paragraphs are block elements. All right, so let's continue how to work with these elements. This is very important. You need to know these elements and how they work. So let's continue. This header and a nav, we can give it something called display. So display, I can give it inline block. Inline block. Good. So I gave them inline block, and you can see that this box has allowed the other box to be by the side. So you need to know this one. So when I make the other one block, okay, when I make it block like this, save, so that it will take the full page, okay, and this one will shift to the other side. All right, so we have different layout properties. We have block, we have inline block, and we have, when we are building projects, we'll deal with a lot of inline properties. I mean layout properties. Okay, let's continue. We want to deal with position, CSS position. So let's look at how to position these elements. Now, apart from the display, we can also use position. So position, we have different types of position. Okay, we have absolute, we have fixed, we have relative, we have static, and the rest. Now the default property for position is static. So I'm going to copy this position. I'm going to write relative. When we are building projects, we understand this thing most. But for now, I'm just brushing through for you to understand. When I put this thing relative, and I'm going to give this position, to be absolute. All right. When I save, these two positions, they are aligned to themselves in a certain way. Now, position take another property, which is the top and the bottom. So I'm going to put this place, I'm going to give it top, and I will give it 0. When I save it, look at it. Now, this position has come to the top. Okay. So the more I position it, okay, the more it keeps changing. I can give it right to be, let's say, 30 pixels. I save. You see where it is now. All right, so assuming I want to position it here, I can easily do it by changing the top and the okay, and the other and the right. Okay, so let me go to bottom. Let's say button is 20 pixels, and I save. See where it is now. It is moving around, so I can equally change to be, no, let me use the left rather. I'm going to use left. I'm going to give it 35 pixels and save it. All right, so this is how it is changing. I can equally be changing it. Okay, so when I put it left to be 350, it will be around the center of it. So we can equally be positioning element using the CSS position, right? And we know the side of this box, so we can use CSS position to position it anyway. I know that this CSS position, the header is 500 pixels. So when I put it around 500 pixels, it will be at the around this place. All right, so that is CSS position. Let's continue. All right, so this is a very complete and the overview of everything you need to know in CSS. The next course, we are going to start building projects one by one. You need to follow and subscribe to this channel so that when I drop the video, you will not miss it. Okay, if you have not watched the complete HTML, go and watch it. Make sure you follow us. All right, and we are going to meet in the other video where we are going to start building website stage by stage. Make sure you follow us, and we'll meet in the comment section. If anything, drop it in the comment section. Thank you for watching this video up to now.